I'll use that opportunity to throw out there that yes, there will be a recap news desk episode on Friday after that's wrapped up to just go over what actually was revealed.
Yeah, and you guys are welcome
and what we're still missing.
You guys are welcome for the Star Trek V reference.
Yes.
I must have
Why is Hasbro angry?
Oh.
Yeah, apparently they told people it was going to be a different color exclusive Cobra Commander. God, yeah. And then they found out, no, it's not a different color. It's the regular release, and you just get early access to it.
Oh, that's bullshit.
And apparently it's
going to go up for pre-order on Amazon on Friday.
Yeah, and then apparently it sold out in like 15 minutes, which is like...
That's the longest anything's ever lasted there.
I know.
It didn't even last that long.
It didn't last that long?
And from what I saw, it looked like Network themselves were not even 100% sure which version of it they were going to be selling until like 15 minutes before the drop.
That sounds about right.
That's an awesome way to do business.
Yes.
That's right, because that variant they showed off with all the trim and stuff was ugly as hell.
That's probably going to be the used to be San Diego version.
So I'll say this: the Network not knowing what it is probably Hasbro's fault and not.
Yeah,
Network's
I was
fault.
thinking that because like everybody who got that press release about that had pictures of both of them, and Network probably had that as their material to use for their pre-order of this.
I mean,
so it's not really on them that they couldn't tell which one they were actually selling.
I didn't really know about it till after the fiasco kind of happened, which I was kind of like, wow, if I would have known about that, I would have probably tried to pick one up, but I guess I'm not
that... failed.
Well, yeah.
Now you can wait until Friday and get it on Amazon.
Or Diecast, are you talking about this in the same context of like you wanted to do the Fun Pub commute experience 2015?
No. I mean, I Cobra Commander is one of those figures I said I would buy in the 6-inch line because I'm going to be selective with my G.I. Joe figures that I buy.
And you still can. You can wait until Friday and order it off of Amazon or pick it up off of the store shelf whenever they hit.
Well, how do you know Amazon will even have it available? Like sometimes like with the Star Wars figures, like I went on Hasbro Pulse and Boba Fett was sold out like right away, which I don't understand because it's the fourth or fifth time.
That always sells out.
Yeah, but it was so quick, it was ridiculous. I went on Amazon. It doesn't look like Amazon even put it up. And then I ended up ordering it from Big Bad Toy Store because I'm like, yeah, I'll pay the extra $3 or whatever it is. Just to...
Yeah, you'll get your Cobra Commander from somewhere, and it's G.I. Joe. I don't think you're going to have that much competition. Network only happened the way it did because, like with Ghostbuster Masterpiece Prime, they probably had 10 of them.
Yeah,
it's like I was saying on Twitter right after it happened. Like, yeah, it's super frustrating for people who are trying to make use of this as a way to get that a little bit earlier, maybe. But for Hasbro, Network is not a distribution channel. Network is a publicity channel. They do this just to get attention on it. And honestly, if they can get people annoyed and talking on social media about how they were not able to get that figure the first time it was available, it's just drawing more attention to the fact that, wait, there's G.I. Joe figures again, which is what they want.
That's exactly right.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't know about it before the whole Network incident. So, I mean, I kind of knew there was a Cobra Commander coming, but I haven't even seen a picture of it. So
yeah, I don't believe in no-win scenarios.
Yeah. It's just that's
I don't like to lose.
That's kind of a double-edged sword, is because that can really backfire to a degree and cause people to get frustrated with, like, well, if it's going to be that hard to get, I'm just not going to get it. Or it'll be like...
a small percentage of people would fall into that category, but for the most part, it's going to work out exactly the way they want it to.
Right.
But for the most part, as toy collectors, we're suckers, so...
Yeah.
We're addicts.
Yeah. But
a little bit of both.
Yeah. But also the bad word of mouth, could have a slightly negative effect.
But that'll have a negative effect for the network, not for Hasbro.
The effect? I'll tell you what the effect is. It's pissing me off.
Yes, it does. Because, I mean, we're already having enough trouble with this, Skywarp Thundercracker 2-pack. Jeez.
That'll be fine. The Rainmakers worked out well enough to go on clearance a lot of places.
Yeah,
so.
it's still early enough that should be damn near impossible to find at this point.
Right. Well, I'm just like I mentioned this to Icon 45 on Twitter. I'm just hoping they didn't do a lower quantity of production run on this because the Rain
I
Max
doubt they would, because it's a lower price set of more well-known characters.
Right, exactly. Yeah. I mean, that's what he said. It's just, it seems to me that would be the kind of weird thing, like, oh, that last set didn't sell as well, so we'll make less of this, and they won't take in, they wouldn't take the other factors into account, even though they're right there in front of their face.
What the problem is right now, like, in the Midwest, it's not that hard to find a location that has the set in stock. West Coast also, even Hawaii has stores that have that set in stock. Right now, the problem is that it has not hit or passed through the Southeast or East Coast or New England distribution centers. So, there's this whole chunk of the country that just has not had the opportunity to have that go out to the stores yet. So, yeah, there's a lot of people that do not have access to this yet, but nobody in these places has missed out on it yet because it just has not been stocked in the first place.
Don. So I would say don't go nuts.
I'm not. No.
Pay scalping prices.
Oh, I'm not.
No, absolutely
not. No. Here's the thing. It's just like I've said before. With my Target, the only one I have in the area, because the closest one other than that, Brian, is in Greensboro, so you know how far that is. The problem is that they have up until that end cap that I posted pictures of last week, there was no Earthrise on the shelf since January except for the boxes of Starscream and Grapple. There was nothing Earthrise for over 6 months. So again, I don't know. I didn't know how that was going to translate into getting the other stuff in. I know there's shelf tags for it and the clones. It's just, again, I don't, because with these Target exclusives, look at Red Hulk. I saw those Red Hulks one time, and that was it.
Yeah, Matt, I do. Hey, Don, you said Icon 45, right?
Yeah.
You know what?
Yeah.
Steve Barry.
Yeah.
It's one of those things where people go by screen names, and in some cases the other, and two people that you think you know who they are become one person. That just happened.
Yeah.
I mean, just relax. There's no need to panic.
Yeah.
I'm not. I'm just saying that with that track record and only Starscream and Grapple being seen for over 6 months, I just wasn't sure how many they were going to get, because that one Red Hulk that I found, who got the Red Hulk? Was it you, Brian, or you, Matt?
Hell no.
Me. That was me.
That was you. Okay, I couldn't remember which one of y'all got it. That's right. Matt got it. I never saw another one. I never saw another Red Hulk. So, I mean, it's just so hit or miss with my Target. It's like the Toys R Us, Brian. There was like 17 sound waves. I'm sorry, 17 MP10s at that Toys R Us that one time. And then, it's just a concern.
Yeah. Hey, so I'm really excited about next week. The Minor Grail should be here. I'm excited.
I'm also really excited for next week.
I'm hoping that something will fill this hole in my life.
Yes, I'm wondering if one or more of us will end up being able to steal your thunder next week, Brian.
Yeah, well, my item's not that. The Minor Grail is not that big. It's just more interesting it'll be a more interesting conversation than anything. It's not like a big deal.
Oh,
I saw someone post something about a Grail, and it was like a brand new item, and I'm like, how can that be a Grail? And then I thought of this, and I was like, okay, I can't comment.
Yeah. I mean, Grails are a very it's a very specific term for a lot of different things. I mean, everyone's Grail is different, So I mean,
I have multiple.
Yeah.
Don has the Grail that I have coming. It's just more
Grand Max, huh?
No. So I backed off of that. I backed off of the big purchase. I'm doing probably some smaller purchases. In fact,
your Grail is a sheet to cover your Transformers.
Yeah. Like,
It's a Transformers sheet.
so like, funny enough, I made, instead of making like one biggish purchase, I made 4 or 5 smaller ones. And 2 of them are the exact same mold, just like 20 years apart. So,
Interesting.
both of them are filling holes in my collection where I got rid of the toy. So, but yeah.
I mean, it's like if someone said, Don, what gorilla do you have left? Well,
Minerva.
I would, Minerva. I would like a G1 Minerva
There's
in
one.
box.
There's one right now, pristine, on eBay for $2,000.
Yeah,
You've got that much money,
but
Don.
but here's
Don
the thing:
would just get the fans hobby one. I
It looks
think.
nice. I have it. I mean, I have it pre-ordered.
yeah,
I
No, I mean,
wish
it's-
it wasn't trying to be masterpiece scale, is all I'll say.
yeah. Well, here's the thing: it's like I said, if I was walking down the street and I found $2,000 laying on the floor,
I heard this story
And-
yesterday or day before
Yeah,
as I
and
was
it's
editing your podcast.
yeah. So it's like, I have the money, just a gift from the gods, and it's like I can't make myself pay that for that, even though it would technically be free, because that white plastic could start age yellowing in a dark closet.
That really crazy Metro Titan, the yellow as hell one,
Oh yeah,
sold. But I'm not surprised.
How much did it go for?
$200.
I mean, is that the one? Was that like you could use like the peroxide paste that
I
you
would
can-
be so afraid to do that, but probably would work. But if you're only,
Well, you test that in an inconspicuous place in case it eats a hole in it or something.
Right.
like my Metro Titan is a little off color. It's not like yellowed by any stretch, but it's not like the original color either. But it's good enough.
It's just like 25 years old.
Yeah.
But now, Don,
What?
Don,
Yeah.
Don, if you found this mythical $2,000 on the street, just free money from the gods, and you found a Minerva for $2,500, and were able to then talk the seller down.
Oh,
No, because
That- no,
See,
no,
now
that-
this
that's
seems like it would be
Dononomics.
perfect. This seems like perfect.
that's
It's a Don
Dononomics
Deal
fund.
content.
so
Yeah. I mean,
Really
Donna.
does, yeah.
I mean, even if, like I said, even though it would be technically free, paying that much money for a figure in that 80s white plastic is a ticking time bomb waiting to happen. And I would hate to get it, and then 5 or 6 years later, this piece goes
Guys,
yellow and that piece goes
Eric
yellow.
Warren in Charlotte, CharlotteCon, he sold his Minerva on eBay a couple years ago. And if I had known, I probably would have jumped on it. It was like $900. I think it's worth $900.
Well, here's the thing. Between my Black Godfire Convoy and the Art Fire that Hydra let me get, he cut me a deal on that G1 Art Fire. I got it in box
God,
for
Art
$500.
Fire. How much for Artfire?
$5.
So it goes for like over 2,000 now in a box.
Yeah.
I've been pricing
I'm
a lot of Japanese stuff. If you haven't,
Yeah.
can't tell.
But I'm just saying, I've had my good luck, so it's fine if I don't get a Minerva. I'll get the fans hobby one. I'll be happy. It's just, it's
Here you go, Don.
Red Hulk. Yeah, it's like I saw the one I got from. No, there was 2 there. I got the one from Matt because I wanted to leave one for someone, and it was gone the next time I went back.
Oh, you left it for someone, so they took it.
yeah, but I never saw it. I never saw any again. It's like the Black Widow exclusive, the $29.99 with all the effects parts. It's still there, but I haven't seen any of the other Marvel Legends exclusives that's supposed to have been out since that Red Hulk. It's just a hit or a miss.
I almost bought the MP711 this week. I didn't want to justify how much it was going for, but
How much was it going for?
4.
That's
About
what it went for new.
No, well, when I got mine, the few that were on eBay were all running between $325 and $450. So that's about in line as far as back when I got mine last year. Oh, Brian, I'm going down to Greensboro tomorrow, and I'll be looking at that Firecon.
Yeah, if it's complete, I'll take it. Absolutely.
Yeah, like I said, they were real busy, and I couldn't get into the case. It's got the 4 missiles. The ladder is not yellowed, but I don't know if the small gun is under the
That's
because the small gun acts as the wheel.
yeah. So part of my collecting right now is just getting back stuff I stupidly parted with before, and that's one of them. I have 2 more.
Yeah.
Like I said, I have 2 more on the way that I should have next week.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna go down and take a look at it tomorrow while I'm meeting someone else for a trade.
While I'm doing the supply dynamics of eBaying stuff, and I found out that something that I have should go for hundreds of dollars that I've got nothing in. Literally, it was given to me years ago. I'm gonna finally put it up on eBay because I don't have room for it anymore. So I'm probably, if I can find one for less than the one going on eBay right now, which is $800. I'm not spending that much. I'll try to pick up that GoBot set that I parted with.
What, Puzzler?
No, the eHobby set.
I am. That's one
I'd
thing
love
I
to
think
have
I
that,
would-
but man, that is expensive.
Yeah.
It's.
no,
my goal is
none
just
of
to
us
get back
thought
the stuff that I stupidly parted with.
Yeah. But none of us thought at the time it would be
Mm-mm.
that or the animation color Astro Train. Those two things.
Oh, yeah, I never had
completely
that one.
I was standing. It was at BotCon. I want to say Tony Prito had one, but it may not have been Tony. So if I'm misspeaking, I apologize, Tony. Someone had one, an animation color eHobby Star Astro Train, and the guy paid. I saw him pay $300 for it right there at that BotCon.
How much does it go for?
I haven't even looked lately, but I remember
I've never priced it.
I mean, this was like it was either the BotCon the year it came out.
$600.
Okay. Yeah, so it was
I
either
could not justify that. Not for
no,
that price.
Astro
not
Train,
you want
no.
Astro.
I never had it, so I don't need
Yeah.
it.
But see, I saw the GoBot. I like the GoBot colored mini bots. I just figured, well, I'll pick it up later because there's other stuff I wanted to get. None of us thought it's an e-hobby. We didn't think it would be that hard to get later, and then poof.
Yeah.
Just I've sort of backed off buying my buying carded GoBots for right now because I got my guys back there, so I don't need anything else. But I would not mind getting a boxed puzzler or monstrous, just to have one of them in the box.
How much does a box puzzler go for? About $200, something like that.
I've not let myself look. But again, I
don't think it goes for that much.
But I've also got the Rock Lord's Dino Combiner, which is even hard to find.
Yeah, I didn't even remember that existed. $400 for this one.
What, a puzzler?
Yeah. Is that the only one on eBay right now? Oh, here's another one, $250.
No, that's kind of what I wish third party would do is a puzzler. I mean, because we're not going to get another one. We're not going to get another monstrous. They could do Power Warriors.
Mm-hmm.
No, I think that's a.
Oh, Don, did you see that 1989 Japanese sealed laser disc?
Yes, right click saves the pictures of it because I'll never have it.
That's something we'll probably never see another one of those sealed again.
Yeah.
So you're gonna buy it?
It's sold.
Oh.
You know
How
who
much
I
did you
would
pay for it?
expect? You know who I would expect to do a puzzler, if anyone? Would
Who?
be X-Trans bots, because they were the
Master
biggest
Builder?
with. No, X-Trans bots was the biggest with doing GoBots.
Yeah. I could see Iron Factory. I could see Iron Factory doing one as well.
Have they ever done any GoBots?
No, but I'm just saying the small size, and they did do the Combaticons, so they can do a combiner. But if I was going to spend that money on a laser disc for just the artwork, it'd be the Ledger disc for Brave Command Dagwan. Because the last time I saw a set on eBay was about $1,000 for the laser discs for Dagwan.
Wow. There's a Five Faces of Darkness laser disc out there, American, of
There
course.
is?
Yeah, it goes for like $500. Which
$100 a head.
yeah, that's good, Don. It's true.
Before we get started, because this is good pre-show content, how many third-party Unicrons is too many?
One,
Because I
maybe
did
two.
that thing where I ordered from multiple places.
See, I thought the question you were asking was how many different companies making a Unicron is too
Yeah.
many.
Like the Dinobot, sort of the
Or possibly,
Destructicon.
how many distinct Unicrons should I own? That's kind of where I was thinking. But not distinct Unicrons?
Just-
I think you could probably do with one.
Yeah.
I may
Again,
have 4 coming.
What?
I'll be right back.
You know, okay, so after you get the HasLab one, you just need to add 3 more and you'll have a complete solar system.
Yeah. Well, it has lab I'm getting 2 of.
Okay,
so that'll be
wait. So Matt just rejoined us. Go through this sequence again, Diecast, because Matt needs to hear about this.
You know how sometimes I order from different places the same item?
Yeah, and
Well, I may have ordered 4 Unicrons for Zeta.
Yeah, so Don had to go take a walk after that revelation. Meanwhile, I'm just sitting here thinking, like, you're almost to a solar system. You might as well just keep going.
yeah, you're
I don't know,
halfway
that's-
there.
Uh-huh.
I mean, you've got 2 HasLab Unicrons coming, so you just need one
Oh,
more.
yeah.
You just need one more, and you just need to paint 1 to 7 stars on each of them.
Oh, yeah.
Mhm.
So that'd be like the Namekian Unicrons then.
Ooh.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah,
I would like for someone, whether it's for the HasLab Unicron once it comes out, or this Zeta Unicron, that someone makes like a half a moon that'll fit in the mall, so
Oh, yeah,
it can
okay.
actually be eating the planet like while it's sitting on your shelf. I think that would be really cool.
I'm thinking like a Nerf ball with like a planet texture on it. That would probably work.
Yeah. I'm just thinking like, because
I'll bet you could find like little stress balls like painted up like decoed like the moon or a planet or something like that.
Oh, yeah.
That you could put in Unicron's mouth.
that should be a segment, like a one-time segment. What ball fits in my Unicron?
Okay.
Well, when you have your own show, Diecast, feel free.
That could be
Yes.
part of There Goes My Money.
If he ever did that again, yeah.
Yeah, if he ever did it again. I'm sure he could find a co-host to, or somebody to co-host an episode with him.
Yep. Yep.
I'm busy that night.
Oh, there's a lot of people who'd love to do it. He has his own extended cast for that show.
Yeah, I'm sure Eric would be happy to be on.
Yeah, Eric's
Miguel,
awesome.
maybe.
Oh, come on, everyone.
God, Miguel would be great, yeah.
Miguel, yeah.
I think it'd be funnier though if he got Ant to come on as a co-host, and Ant could just sit there rolling his eye to every third-party thing.
I would
Diecast
love
talks
that.
Yeah.
That would be a perfect one-off special.
Yeah.
I wonder if there's
Miguel
like a
says I'm busy that
figure-
night.
I wonder. Thanks, Miguel. I wonder if there's like a figure that Anthony would like really like that he would break his no third party rule for.
No, I mean, it's one of those things that I think he has. I don't think he hates third party in the sense of the technology or anything. I think he just thinks of it as copyright infringement, which
It's an ethical
it
thing
is.
more than
yeah,
it is.
It is. So, but for me, for me, knowing that people at Hasbro are kind of okay with it made me care less about it. But I just can't equate it to the same thing as Transformers. So if I have a third part, if I have Sovereign, which I just sold, or a Masterpiece Galvatron, I don't care how much quote unquote better Sovereign is. I don't value it as much as the real thing because it's not a real thing.
It's not Galvatron.
It's not Galvatron. You know, even though it could be a better toy. Like, I'm looking at this right now, we'll talk about it in the show, but the Machine Eagle for Master Builder.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
God, it looks awesome.
Yes.
But I'm not going to buy it.
Isn't it Fans Hobby?
Yeah, Fans Hobby, sorry. Yeah. So it looks awesome. I'm not buying it.
But I mean, a lot of people have those Fire TV sticks, and they have, you know, them unlocked so they can go get movies and everything. And a lot of people are okay with that.
I don't.
Yeah, I'm not saying you do. I'm just saying a lot of people know someone who does.
Well, Doc, it sort of goes back to like when I got my Conehead Seekers. I didn't pay the Takara price for their Coneheads. I didn't get Toy Worlds. I got the BB7 yes model versions that are a lot more stable than anything that Takara did for the Coneheads, and were very reasonably priced. Yes, they're a fourth party KO, but like Zhang, they made improvements to the mold. Yeah. And made it a better figure. And
did they get shut down like Zhang too?
Probably. Have you heard anything from them in a while?
I haven't looked for any of their stuff lately because it was just at the time I wanted the Coneheads, but I wasn't paying those Takara prices.
It's very possible too. BB7 was just a secondary label of Zhang.
Possible, yeah.
Yeah, now, Brian, I don't do it within the realm of Transformers, but generally for me, if I'm going to buy like knockoffs of existing things, it's something that I generally, in its original form, would not ever get because I would not be able to afford it. At that point, I will do a knockoff, and otherwise I just, I'll try and get the real thing if I can.
Right.
For me, with third-party Transformer stuff, like all the stuff I've handled, I don't enjoy as much as genuine Transformers stuff. Now, I can acknowledge that a lot of them are feats of engineering, and, the people who are making the stuff actually work in, 3 dimensions. Very impressive skills go into that. It's not fun to handle, though, and they also kind of skip that step that all the official stuff has where all the edges are rounded just slightly, so it's comfortable to handle and feel in your hand. All the third-party stuff has very sharp edges and corners.
A lot of it. Most of it still does.
Everything I've handled has been that way. I'll qualify it that way.
Yeah,
the only thing that's really made me break my rules on third-party masterpieces is the X-Transbot Stunticons. They turned out really well, and I just wanted a good set of Stunticons at that size.
So I want Machine Eagle, and I want Thunder Eagle, or Lightning Eagle, pardon me. But I'm probably never going to get them. I love, though, that Machine Eagle does have the correct face plateless face for Machine Wars Optimus Prime.
Well, I've got Lightning Eagle, Brian. It's a very solid figure. It holds together well in combined mode. Because I didn't get the Primes figures because I didn't like the way the feet just hung off the backpack. Even though I know Diecast said it's not that bad in person, but with the Lightning Eagle version, that kind of backpack makes more sense with the way you've got the battle platform and everything. But yeah, if you do get it, it's a very solid piece.
I doubt Brian was questioning the quality of it as a product. It's just
it's just Well, Brian and he and I have been on the opposite ends of the spectrum. It's like
you certainly are at the opposite ends of the spectrum, Don.
Yes, it's like Gundog. I love Gundog. I think he's a great looking figure. Where did he go?
You're holding him off camera.
Okay, there we go. There we go. I know he's not exactly as accurate to G1 as the Takara, but when it all boils down to it, he is still a plastic representation of a fictional character made to go into a collection.
Or as I call him, Masterpiece Dreamwave Hound.
Yeah. But I'm still... Well, no, I can see his feet. They're not behind rocks. But
No, that would be Rob Liefeld.
oh, that's
Hound.
true. That's true. But I mean, I just didn't see a need to double dip $110 to $140 for Hound when I've got a good looking Hound that fills the collection nicely. But
And
again,
I
I
gave it away.
understand people that but I understand people like Brian who want the actual toy made by the actual people. It's just I just can't see double dipping like that when like Hound and Sun Surge. They're both. I still wind up. I got the Corden version
Sundog?
of Sunstreaker. Sun Surge.
Oh, Sun Surge. Sorry.
Yeah.
I'm getting Warog and yeah. Hey, let's go ahead and start. But real quick.
Oh.
Thunder Eagle and Machine Eagle look awesome. Or Lightning Eagle. Thunder Eagle does nothing for me because it's conceivable that would actually get a masterpiece. But Machine Eagle,
Thunder Eagle?
Power Master.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but
You can understand all those eagles can get confusing after
Yeah.
a while.
yeah. So in the YouTube chat, we're trying to
It
figure out
turns
where
into one
Diecast.
vast predatory bird of prey.
Yeah, in the YouTube chat, we're trying to figure out where Diecast gets all of his money, and I'm saying it's cocaine.
We've all kind of assumed that.
Okay, let's start.
Now, see, we've been at conventions with Diecast. I would assume he spends more money on cocaine.
Yeah,
Well, just for that weekend.
You have to sample a little bit of the product.
oh my god. Okay.
Gotta
3, 2,
test
1.
for quality.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Don, you're about to say something.
Sorry, it's just as I say, it's not called plastic crack for nothing.
Transformers. It's better than crack. So okay,
I might still have that MP3 somewhere.
I've got it. It's the zinger or whatever out of one of our 3 primary outros. Yeah, it gets played all the time. Okay, 3, 2, 1. This is Radio Free Cybertron, episode 680. I am Brian Kilby. With me this week, we have Diecast. And we have Chris,
Hi.
Matt,
Hello.
Dawn.
Yo,
Happy birthday, Dawn.
thank you very much.
Happy birthday.
50.
Yeah, thank you. Yep, thank you to everybody for a really nice birthday between my girlfriend and y'all. It was an
Girlfriend?
awesome. It was an awesome 50th.
Wait, you're actually 50 now?
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to have to start joking that he's 65
Yeah.
starting this year.
Rob
Okay,
turned
good.
35. Happy birthday, Rob.
Thank you.
He gets younger. And
I had people on my YouTube videos saying I thought you were 20 or I thought you were 30. So, yay for sounding extremely immature, I suppose.
yeah, it helps me out. And actually, John's birthday was what, a month ago? 2 months ago, something like that. John, did you turn 40 or 39? I can't remember.
40.
You turned 40. Okay.
Oh.
Yeah. He wasn't happy about it.
No, he was
John's
He
not
doesn't want to
answering
talk
out
about
of
it.
being. John's not answering out of being embarrassed. He said a few minutes ago he would be right back, and I don't think he's actually returned from his
Oh, yeah.
probably
I don't read
child-related.
our
embarrassment.
Skype chat. So, yeah, cool. So, happy
Oh,
birthday.
well, John just left, so maybe he was bothered by the age thing. Never mind.
41. Turned 41 a couple weeks ago. Yeah.
Oh.
It happens. So, let's see here. What else finally happened is we're getting a Fan First Friday. We'll talk a little more about that later, but thank God it finally happened.
Yeah,
Also-
we're only like 2 months behind all the other brands.
Yeah, some of them have had like 2 at this point, haven't they?
Star Wars and Marvel,
Star
I think, have
Wars.
both had 2.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Also, finally happening, we did get it's a Don deal posted. So it is now up. It'll be in your podcast feed by the time you hear this.
And a third thing finally happened, too.
The Toy Detectives, a patron exclusive podcast, will be posted this weekend. So by the time you hear this, it may already be in the feed of our patrons on Patreon. It is a patron exclusive podcast. I'm going to try to
Is
do
that to every patron tier?
every patron tier. I'll make it available to everybody. I'm pretty sure that's sort of. So, yeah. So, I want to do more Patreon exclusive stuff. You know, not that we don't love all of our fans. Don't get me wrong. But if the people who, care enough to put down money, they really do must love us. believe it or not.
And so they'll probably listen to any kind of stuff we put out because, we're sitting talking about something and being us, and it's going to be weird.
Yeah, so we'll try
like that fast food podcast we keep tossing around.
We need to do that.
And also Melvar Legends, we need to do some legwork on that and figure out
if I ever figure out a format.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you could take the superhero time approach and just kind of let the format find you as you go through it.
Hey, that's how this show RFC has changed so much over the years.
Oh yeah,
our format has changed 50 times, and it just slowly
it's constantly
morphs.
evolving.
Yeah, it's constantly evolving, so I'm not worried about it. Let's see.
Freeform Chaos is very popular, so you should definitely consider that.
Too many podcasts are interview podcasts, and I hate interview podcasts. I don't like podcasts where it's just somebody interviewing folks every episode. I kind of like the whole freeform thing with loose segments that we sort of do. That's sort of my preference when it comes to how podcasts are formatted.
How dare you run a podcast that goes to your preference?
Yeah, I know, right?
How dare you run a podcast that goes out on the internet?
That's where I thought it was going. Let's see here. We're also going to post a new RFC throwback this weekend. It'll go to patrons first, and that podcast it's patron exclusive for 3 months. So I think it'll be September before it's live to everybody else. But we started that earlier this year, so we'll have a new one out to the general public here in a couple weeks, which will be the one from I think March. So, but that podcast, we try to produce evergreen content, try to do it a little different every episode. The one that we are going to post to patrons here this weekend or next will feature the collecting tips and tricks that we recorded back on our last live stream that we did back in May. So I've got that edited and ready to go. I'll probably add another segment or two there just to flesh it out a little more, but that podcast will be ready to go too. Oh, let's see here. Anything else? There's a lot of stuff going on. It's kind of crazy. Ant put it best today. The biggest winner for all the news was us. For all this breaking before showtime instead of being early Thursday morning.
That's rare, isn't it?
It is rare.
Oh yeah,
yeah,
very rare.
Very much so.
Yeah.
The last time we had timing kind of like this, I think, was with the Street Fighter crossovers, which, as we all know, was for a Tuesday for everybody else.
Yes, that's true.
Somebody say Street Fighter.
Yes.
Hi, John.
Welcome back, John.
Hey, John. Will the Street Fighter V, the arcade version, ever come to home consoles?
That's a trick question.
Yeah, I guess not.
It's a matter of perspective.
Yeah.
Hey, by the way, my local arcade has that. Isn't that
Really?
crazy? Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Wow.
I went on a wicked win streak against who knows who on round one's I don't know, internet network, whatever. But yes, it has online play, which is weird. So you're sitting in an arcade playing an online fighting game.
That sounds horrible.
It sounds really sad, especially when you consider a guy at that time was a 39-year-old at the time was sitting there playing alone in an arcade against somebody somewhere. Very sad.
For all you know, you were playing against a 45-year-old, though.
That might have been. Man, if only we could have seen each other XV and just touched each other's hand on the screen. Just put my hand up against the screen and he puts his hand up against his screen and just connect for just a moment.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to have that human touch.
Yeah. Yeah.
You got the touch.
So, yeah. Yeah, cool. So John, you just real quick, you faded away when we were talking before. When was your birthday again? Was it last month, the month before?
When was my birthday?
Yeah. Recently.
Yeah, May 19.
Okay. So there's so many of us in this sort of general window.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The big 4-0.
Yeah. The big 4-0.
Yeah.
Yeah. Congratulations.
Thanks.
You've ascended.
Don
yes.
50.
Don is 50.
Yeah, man. I'm never gonna beat.
Yeah,
Don.
I'm gonna
catch up.
Yeah, I want to die first. So wait a minute.
No, that's not how it works.
Not necessarily.
Yeah, unfortunately, that isn't how it works.
That's not not how it works. Okay, what else? Okay, anybody get anything? I got a bunch of stuff, and I don't care to talk about any of it. So
It's
I
really
got one
podcasting,
thing.
Brian.
I know, right? It's my applied Donanomics fail. Like if this massive pre-order hadn't come through when I was trying to save up for Guard City, I would have had Guard City. But then I decided to give up on Guard City, so Guard City will be later. Yeah. So who wants to go first?
I'll
Anybody?
go. I got
Yeah.
one thing. It's not exciting.
It's so not
I mean, it
exciting
may
you
be
didn't
for
take it out of the
some,
box.
but I got another hot link.
Oh, another one.
Another.
Well, my first one, the chest was warped, and this one I can see. Even though the packaging was a little crushed, I could see the chest was okay.
The
Yeah,
little known secret chest warp.
Yeah. So I figured
Test masters, but at
just in
least you
case
found,
he's as rare as everyone says he's going to be, I just happened to walk into the store and it was there. And I was like,
Yeah.
okay.
I walked in and there were 3 at my store the other day.
Mine has it.
I haven't.
The last time I was at
haven't-
Walmart, the ones they all had very crushed packaging, but there was multiples of them.
Yeah. Yeah, I saw the one a few weeks ago. The one case came in that had him and Megatron. There was 2 cases of that, and then they all sold out. And then the PDQ came in, and there was nothing left after like a day or 2. So at least at my Walmart, when I've gone by, nothing else is. They've been gone. I think even the last Megatron is even
Hot
gone now.
link's gone with the
And
wind.
on the subject of these Netflix things, the last time I was at my Walmart, which was I guess a week ago now, the Ultra Magnus packs had been marked down to under $20.
Oh,
Wow.
Did you see any?
Yeah,
Oh, wow.
yeah, they were on the shelf with $19.69 labels on them,
Wow. Because around here,
and I still don't want them.
here, I think they got marked down to $35 like right
Yeah,
away.
35.
But I don't know of any Walmarts around here that had them.
Why is that in the Skyfire, the Commander class Skyfire? Why were they getting marked down so quickly?
Okay, so I have 2
they didn't
theories
have a
here.
chance to sell.
I have 2 theories here. So this is not part of the theory, but just something I thought of right now. We'd heard like vague word of mouth that Jetfire might have been a victim of poor timing because they got that in at the same time they were doing a modular reset. So it basically got taken off of the planogram at the same time it got put on functionally. So it got clearanced out immediately. My theory, though, my first theory is that Walmart just has a thing against carrying Transformers products over $50. So, they'll have them for a little bit, but they want them out of there as quickly as possible. So after 2, 3, maybe 4 weeks tops, it's going to get marked down to clear out because they know at that point it's not going to sell for full price anymore, and it's just taking up shelf space for stuff they actually could get value out of. That's my first theory.
Which is odd because I've seen stuff at many Walmarts through the years that was like a first markdown and then never marked down again for just literally sitting on a shelf, on a clearance shelf for 2 or 3 years and never passed the first clearance price.
They like to do that with electronics, I've noticed. Because
Yeah.
I've gotten like, you go through Walmart and you see like electronics that have been there on clearance for like 10 years, and you're like, huh?
Yeah, and like the store manager generally sets the markdown policy for the given store. I used to work at this Walmart here, and the store manager at that time was a notorious tightwad. Now, it worked out in the store's benefit because his practices made the store the most profitable in the district. So this store would get, first crack at all the desirable stuff like, hot consoles and, just generally anything that was difficult to get at launch. They would have the most of in the area. But there's been at least 2 store managers there since then, and the markdown policy's gotten a little bit better. So my other theory on this is that the Ultra Magnus pack for this line is just a complete conceptual flop, which, like, wow, big surprise, you got a $60 product there and you can't even see what's inside it. Its name is not on the package anywhere legible. You know, it's this was a very bad idea. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know that they ever had shelf space for it. Like when I got mine,
and at yours they might not have. But like mine had shelf space and riser space. Brian, I know one of his had that because he tweeted about or picture even of 8 or 10 of them on a riser.
8 of them, yeah.
But no, like within the first week that these were out and in my local store. One of them had been torn open by someone who obviously wanted to see, okay, what the hell is even in this thing?
Yeah. And then they saw it and went, oh, never mind, and put it back.
Yeah. Exactly.
Well, I mean, I think Chris is right as far as, because when I went back trying to find one of the $35 ones for a friend whose store never got them, I saw the price tag. So I looked under the price tag, and there was an actual shelf tag underneath it. So there was a spot for it because it was a regular tag, but the clearance price was on top of it, and then that was it. So it's just so weird that the last 2 big exclusives have gone that clear, which makes me wonder from now on if they get a big Transformer clearance item as part of a exclusive, just wait and see if it goes on clearance anymore.
I mean, part of me hates to play that game because it's so easy to lose.
Yep.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, the pattern so far seems to support that concept. Now, remember, we heard a few weeks back about what we think are a subsequent wave of Netflix toys, but they're all deluxes, so we may not see a big thing like this again anytime soon.
Yeah.
Now, of course, if they do decide to stock Skylinks in the stores instead of just on the website, that might be your next opportunity to try to wait out a clearance. And in that case, that wouldn't be so dangerous because even if that doesn't work out for you, there's plenty of other places you could buy that from.
So, real quick, playing that game about risking whether or not something is going to still be there on clearance later on, Kim first learned that I really had a toy problem when that G.I. Joe 25th anniversary Arise or Pentor Arise DVD set hit Walmart. And it was the only one I'd ever seen in person. And Kim told me I needed to not worry about it and just leave it. I'm like, okay, I'll come back later when you're not here. And I never saw it again. I actually had to get it on eBay. Yep, it can bite you in the butt. Don, you were about to say something?
I forgot what it was. Must not have been important.
No, okay, I'm sorry.
Okay.
Okay, so what? Diecast, anything else other than your hot link?
Nope, that was it.
Who else got anything?
I got nothing Transformers related, but I did pick up some body parts in the mail for Marvel Legends. So I managed to finish my A-Bomb Build-A-Figure.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
It's big.
Since there's really nothing Transformers that interests me at the moment, I'm just working on completing some Marvel Legends Build-A-Figures. So I've got more mail-order body parts on the way. So,
boy, contacts.
Yeah.
So Apocalypse is my next project. His missing limbs should be in the mail within the next couple days.
I wish I hadn't donated my Sentinel Build-A-Figure. That thing was huge.
Aren't they coming back out with that?
They're new one. There's a new one coming out, I think.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I really wish I was doing Marvel Legends or whatever they were called at the time when they did the Fing Fang Foom. Because I would.
That was an early one.
Yeah.
That thing's huge too.
And that was like a Hulk wave too.
Cool. Well, I don't know.
Primarily.
Who else got anything?
The only thing I got was off topic. I was bored and I went in local GameStop because there was like nobody in there, so I wasn't violating the less than 6 people rule. And I picked up the. For some reason, I got the Star Wars Heavy Assault Battle Droid because it looked kind of neat. and I picked up the Fantastic Four thing just because it's a really great looking figure, and I'm gonna throw the Abomination head parts up on eBay or something. But I didn't want the whole set of Fantastic Four. I just wanted the thing, so I went ahead and got him.
Yeah, I wish
So
I
that's all.
picked up the Doom when it was still readily available. I've not seen it recently.
Yeah. I mean, I really didn't
Yep.
care about, it's just Fantastic Four does nothing for me, but that
Don.
thing figure looked really good.
If it wouldn't mess up our call, I would hang up on you right now.
It's all right. The only reason I cared about Fantastic Four is they're tangentially related to Power Pack. That's the only reason I care.
God, okay. Who else got anything?
I got something. Spidey Wing sent me for my birthday the Master Grade God Gundam, aka Burning Gundam.
Oh, cool.
Ooh.
That's a nice little kit. I haven't put it together yet, but I've been taking a look at it, and it has a full internal frame, which not all Master Grades do, but I think most at this point. Also been a long time since I got any new Master Grades, so I can't say for sure. But yeah, it's a really nice kit. It's something I've been looking at for years, so thank you very much, Spidey.
Cool. Okay, awesome. Is that everybody but me? Okay.
I guess so, because I'm holding out for next week.
Okay. I think I can guess what you're going to have next week, and I'm beyond jealous.
I'm hoping to take the wind out of everybody's sails.
I think I know then.
Yeah, okay. So I'll just do it in order that I can find it. I'm not even going to bother pronouncing any of these names. Dawn or somebody told me about a pre-order that Big Bad had up for just a bunch of miscellaneous crap. And some of it was Transformers Go, and I missed out on Transformers Go the first go-around. And even counting mini-cons, there's less than 40 toys in that line. So completing it's not...
Transformers Go is that big?
Yeah, it's like 30 figures, then like 7 mini-cons or 10 mini-cons.
I thought it was a lot smaller than that,
Yeah, I
actually.
thought it was just like a handful of toys.
There's like 6 or 7 waves. It was a lot of stuff. But I mean, I think there are a lot of repaints in it though. So I cannot pronounce any of the names for this. It's the Black Lion. I'm not going to try.
Keith.
All of this stuff after opening that Optimus Prime is staying mint in box. All the original molds because they're crap.
For what it's worth, I understand Optimus X Prime is the worst thing to come out of that line
Okay.
in terms of the originally produced stuff for it.
Oh, let's see if I can get the Spanker's box down with one hand without everything falling out. Oh, it's going to tear. Oh,
Fail,
my God.
fail.
Yes.
Fall. Okay.
Midsummer. Okay, we're shouting seasons, I guess.
Okay, so that got bumped that. So, Nemesis Prime, Disney label Mickey Mouse. I don't know why I got
Okay,
it.
that's random.
I didn't have it.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see here. There's more Disney label stuff. Disney label, Donald Duck. Just random stuff I didn't have.
Donald B.
Donald B. Now this is awesome. I don't give a crap about Toy Story.
Bumble Duck.
Bumble Duck. I don't give a
Duck.
crap about Toy Story,
That's right.
but this is awesome.
Oh, the Buzz Lightyear spaceship.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, I'm super... most of this stuff is going to stay in the box, and that'll probably have to. The 3-year-old will steal it if I don't.
Yeah. I was actually tempted by the Solar Jagoku and Toy Story combiner just briefly, but it's too much for what it is.
Here's the standard color of the lion guy. I can never pronounce his name.
Oh, the pirate.
Yeah. Shoot. Okay. That stuff's going to fall. I'll just have to live with it. Because I can live with it.
Is that
Can
what
live
you're
with
talking
it.
That was it.
There is this guy. Which one is this? Sensimaru. It's the other leaderish class thing. I literally know nothing about Transformers Go, and I don't really need to know anything.
There is a cartoon.
Yeah. I realized I didn't have any alternative at all, period. Zilch.
Oh.
Yeah, so I got Optimus Prime. That's my first alternative figure. The Nissan GTR.
Well, yeah, and that's good because, as Alternity goes, that mold is 90% of it.
Yay.
Ultimately,
Yeah, they just
Yeah.
kept repainting it.
Brian, I didn't see. Was it the red one?
Vibrant Red is what it's called.
Yeah. That's. Actually, I really enjoyed most all the alternative stuff, even the Bumblebee and Cliff Jumper.
Yeah, I had Alternity Convoy and the Black Megatron, and the Black Megatron I got secondhand. Actually, I got both of them secondhand. The Black Megatron was kind of messed up by the time I got it because it had like a geared auto transformation thing, which didn't work when I had it. But like other than that, between that and the alternators I've handled, the alternatives are a much better experience. Although I never had the Orochi Starscream Seeker body for that, and I understand that's kind of like tragic nightmare to try to get from robot to car mode.
Yeah, it's not good, but you can really see how they were able to work the jet theme into a car with the door wings and everything else. So visually, it pulls it off a lot better than you would think from pictures. But yeah, it's not a fun Transformer, but it looks nice.
So, real
and
quick,
they turned that Starscream body one too into Bonsai-tron, which I always thought looked really good. Sorry, Brian.
Yeah.
So in our Discord, tiffradio.net/Discord, we haven't plugged the Discord yet. In the chat, this is the best quote. Can I pin this? I'm going to pin this. It says, you know, Brian has a problem when he wants to get all the figures from a series he has neither watched nor knows anything about. Nailed it.
He hates it. He's going to buy it.
That is exactly right. So I love that. So great.
I would love to get some of the Predacon redecos that went into Transformers Go with the alternate robot heads, because they all look really nice. I just never felt like I could justify, the import prices on those.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay. Let's see. I got more crap. So other stuff I give not a crap about. I love G.I. Joe, but these 6-inch figures do nothing for me. Not a thing. The Snake Eyes is okay. Scarlet, I'm leaving in the box. I haven't opened it. Duke, I think what I'll probably do with these is if a later wave comes out and I'm actually interested in them, it might encourage me to open them.
And sort of get a Yojo shelf going on.
Yeah, but as is, like the only reason I opened Roadblock is because it came from Amazon opened. Not missing anything. It was just like the tape didn't actually seal the box. It looked like it doesn't look like it'd been messed with. It just looks like the tape didn't do the job. Yeah. So,
yeah, I don't get what they're trying to do with that line. Like,
yeah, me neither.
I don't understand the aesthetic choices. I do like the way the Cobra Commander looks coming out, so I might get him and like a couple of Cobra Troopers eventually. But that's that's not a line I'm ever gonna go for everything.
Yeah, I mean, I'll get Shipwreck if I'm sure they'll do a Shipwreck.
We get a Shipwreck.
Yeah, it's just but like in Transformers, my character choices for Joe are extremely.
Everybody loves Shipwreck.
Yeah, she's everybody's favorite. So the thing with this, we don't know what Hasbro is willing to lose on it before giving up. Because I think this is going to be something where the first few waves it's either going to ramp up in popularity or it's just going to dwindle and die. I'm thinking.
Well, it's G.I. Joe, so my guess.
Yeah, so we'll see. So something I ordered last week and I've not tested it. I ordered it during the show or at the end of the show. This repro cart of Beast Wars Transmetals.
Oh,
the N64. Have not tried it out yet.
I think you did that in post-show.
Yeah. So I will say this. Obviously, it starts off with a genuine cart. Typically, what they do is they take an existing cart and clean it and relabel it. Honestly, if I didn't know that this was a reproduction, I would think this is the real deal. So it's like most of these repro cards are really nice. I have some SNES repro cards, but it looks great. I can't wait to play it. I'm sure it works. So I just don't. I
wonder what the donor was.
It's probably some sports game that no one wanted anymore.
That's probably fair.
Bumble.
It's labeled 9697 Nintendo. That's the patent on the cart. And Nintendo, if I'm not wrong, manufactured all the carts, so that would make sense. I don't know. I could crack it open and probably figure out, but
that sounds like work.
I mean, N64 carts are pretty easy to open. There's only a couple of screws, and then they hinge otherwise. But who cares? Last two things I got. 2 more of the Happy Meal McDonald's toys. So
Ooh,
pink and black
nice.
Bumblebee. It's Bumblebee, yeah.
how's the pink look?
I thought that was
Yeah,
I thought that was
pink.
Cliff Jumper.
Is it? I go by the feet. It looks like Bumblebee's feet. They look the same. I have to literally have a Bumblebee and a Cliff Jumper beside of each other to look at them to tell the difference.
That was like
Aren't the Happy
one.
Meal ones really that indistinct?
Dude, I'm not a visual person. I look at it. Hold on.
Oh,
I
okay.
literally have to look at them side by side to tell the. I have to do that sometimes with the Hound and the Gears. Like, have you actually? They're really base. They're really like super
You mean
basic.
Brawn and Gears?
Brawn and Gears. What did they say? Hound. Yeah, I said Hound.
Hound.
Yeah. So, like, I literally have to look at them sometimes side by side, just as a.
I don't think I've ever seen those in person, so
No, it's Bumblebee.
like I legitimately don't have a frame of reference for how distinct one
Yeah,
body
they look.
type
They
is
look
from
like the
another.
Bumblebee and the Cliff Jumper. Just looking at them, they are not very distinct. But when you compare them side by side, they're easy to tell apart. But like just looking at one, just picking it up, I got to look at it, and I have to look at the feet to tell who it is. And it looks like the bug. So, and yeah, the Brawn, red and yellow. So I'm like over halfway now of having all these.
Wow.
Yeah, and there's several on
Did
eBay
you ever,
right
did
now.
you ever
but
think you would get this far?
nope. There's like this. The how do I say this? The recession has helped because there was a period that these were going for like ridiculous amounts of money. Now they're going for like a third to a quarter of that. The ones on eBay right now, I already have all of them though, except for one.
Ah.
Yeah.
Was that the melted one?
No, so two. I don't have the melted one, and I don't have the one that they're trying to get for $300. That I'm.
Ah.
Yeah. So. But yeah. So I think I have 13 or 14 of them now. We'll see. I think I've got a new source for these things. So.
Nice.
Yeah. What you basically have to do, I think, is look more for Happy Meal collectors than Transformers collectors.
Yeah. That makes sense.
You know,
Yeah.
You know, Brian, one thing you were saying when you talk about the G.I. Joes is like, if Siege Transformers is a success, do you think we'll see a G.I. Joe series?
What do you mean? Like the War for Cybertron?
The cartoon. Yeah, the cartoon. You know, if
Probably
the
not.
cartoon is successful, you know, I'm just wondering if maybe that would be a way to
I think
get
if the toy line is successful, that would be more in favor of a new series than the War for Cybertron series.
It just seems like it'd be a way for them to get media out, and they can do a more adult.
Oh, please, no more adult G.I. Joe.
I know, but I'm looking at it from their standpoint. Is like we're going with the adult collector in this G.I. Joe Black series.
I think
I do too.
Resolute. I think at the time it was cool and everything, and a
No,
lot of
it
people
wasn't. I watched that.
Cool,
it wasn't.
K-E-W-L.
It was never cool.
But I think now people recognize that it was really bad. But like G.I. Joe, the comic was mature enough without shoving it down your throat.
Right. I mean, I totally. I'm just saying, looking at it from how they might look at it, to get a more adult-ish G.I. Joe to target the collectors that the line is made for. I was just thinking maybe that, because that would be the reverse of what happened in '84. Joe had the successful cartoon, the comic came out, and then they copied that for Transformers. So it could be the reversal.
I think the target audience for this toy line is the 45-year-olds on the internet who have been sitting griping about there not being any G.I. Joe product for the last 5 to 10 years, and they already know that this is happening. So I think they've hit their goal.
And I'll be honest with you, God, and I'm going to sound like a horrible person saying this.
What else is new?
I know. There's enough G.I. Joe fiction.
Yeah.
Like, I don't need the Marvel comic exists. There will never be better fiction than that, probably. We don't need it.
And it's still going on, so.
Yeah, it is. It is.
You also have G.I. Joe versus the Transformers.
Yeah. I don't know. I would be fine just saying, G.I. Joe, you can rest now. You've been your time is done. I don't know. But
That'll do,
Transformers,
Pig. That'll do.
yeah, that'll do, Pig. That'll do. I'm honestly, I'm kind of there with Transformers.
I've been thinking that.
It's okay. G.I. Joe was just in a coma.
Yeah, it's gonna be okay. Like, I would be fine if there was no new Transformers fiction. Back when,
Yeah, we're getting close to the point where, like, in a practical sense, you know, they kind of hit a wall with that anyway. Cyberverse, honestly, I've watched a lot of Cyberverse, and what it was doing was the right thing, I think, being largely episodic and, you know, lighthearted. And the first season, a lot of the first season, too, spent its time doing universe building in general, which, you know, for the, like, flashback framing device, they worked with that really well in having just Bumblebee and Windblade technically be the main characters for that whole season before expanding it out with the second season. Like, Cyberverse is a good model for what Transformers fiction probably needs to be for a while, which is really accessible, low stakes, and little to no overarching plot threads.
Yeah.
Like, just let anybody jump in at any point in a given season and be able to figure out what's going on.
Yeah. You know, if only Hasbro had their own television network that they could put all this
that was a
stuff
bad
on.
idea.
Yes, that would solve all of our problems,
Yeah.
wouldn't it?
That failed once. It
Yeah,
would fail again.
But like when it comes to
It wasn't
fiction,
a failure. It was just it just wasn't a critical success.
There-
There's a difference.
There's so much Transformers fiction out there. I know that they want to. They don't. But the thing is, the toys now sell the fiction and not the other way around.
Yeah.
Isn't that
So
weird?
it's they wag the dog. It just doesn't make sense. You don't Transformers. There's a rich amount of fiction that not so many people haven't read it all. Just go back and sell old DVDs. You're fine. You're fine.
It's funny too, like how Transformers in development terms has come full circle. Like, originally, the toys were the starting point, and all the media was made based on
To sell it.
toys. So,
Yeah.
so the discrepancies between what the cartoon looked like and the toy you buy is the fault of the cartoon, not the toy.
Yeah.
Then we went through a period where, okay, now we're kind of leading with the media or co-developing it, where they should be much closer together, or you know, if the toy is not matching what you see on the screen, it's because we couldn't replicate that in the toy. And now we're back again to forgetting the toys way in advance, and like the Netflix cartoon is all trying to pattern itself based on the toys that were made, and the comics are doing the same thing again. So it's really interesting how over all these years it's just like gone right back to where it started from.
Yeah. I just think back to when I really got back into the Transformers fandom. We had Beast Wars and we had fan fiction. That was what we had, and
There was some good fan fiction
Yeah.
out there too. I remember.
yeah, we were in. It was good. I was fine with that.
Is there still fan fiction?
Oh, yeah.
Or has that died?
I mean,
yeah,
I think it's
there
a lot
was.
less prevalent.
I think I think in the Transformers community it's less prevalent because
Yeah,
again, there's so
I
much
figured
stuff.
that's what Diecast was actually.
But in
asking
general,
about.
I think
Yeah.
it's probably way bigger now than it's ever been because there's just more people on the internet to write it.
Right. Well, also you're looking at the fact is that without Cyberverse, you really don't. The one thing of when you write fanfic is that there must be a perceived imbalance in the show, a missed opportunity, or something that you as the author feels needs to be addressed or corrected.
And G1 gave you a lot of that.
Right. but
That's
I mean,
true.
I'm
And also a
saying-
20-year gap to fill in.
Right.
Yeah.
But as a former writer, I'm just saying that
Accomplished?
without a current series to draw from, or things that you need to address as a writer, because when you're writing and you see this, you get this urge like, I need to fix this, even if only for myself. And without a current series, you're not going to see a lot of the stuff coming up because there's nothing to fix without going back and looking at stuff from the past, which, let's look at the 20-year gap between Bot and the movie. You can write an infinite number of stories, but how many of them are going to be very similar across the board? So that's why you're not getting that
Like
same...
most of season 2, honestly.
Yeah.
Hey, season 2 is the best season. But
Anyway, speaking of bought,
but again, that's
Yes,
just,
okay.
That's my thought.
Let's move around. So I'm gonna
yeah, that's a Don deal, Don.
I'm gonna go out of order. I'm gonna do so. Lots of news happened today.
I mean, we already alluded to the Fan First Friday coming up. We don't need to go into that as a topic, but be on the lookout Friday afternoon-ish after that happens. We'll have a news desk recapping, kind of wrapping up whatever gets revealed on Friday.
Yeah. So I'm going to jump out of order since I think Chris is sort of referencing some of his fanciful ideas that I endorse.
We have possibly get revealed on Friday.
Yeah, we have something called the Transformers G1 Red. Actually, not even necessarily G1, but the Red toy line. Think Black Series. But this is what the robots enhanced design or some dumb acronym.
Something like that.
It's a backronym.
Yeah.
Basically, they forced an acronym. So
yeah, Hasbro lately has been basically like 2003, 2004 era Bandai.
yeah,
I hate this.
yeah, me too. Well, I don't hate the idea. I hate the execution.
Yeah, the execution for sure, because like for at least the first half a year this exists, we're just getting the core G1. We're not going to get anything that could really utilize this format. So these are non-transforming action figures,
6-inch figures,
posable, detailed.
It's Black Series Action Masters.
Yeah, basically,
Yeah.
it's based as closely on the G1 animation
There's no
models.
love
as
in them though,
possibly
like with
can.
Action Masters. Action Masters had character. These are dead.
These
I
have
don't know.
articulation.
Yeah, I don't know why I hate them as much as I do.
Because they're pointless.
They're not
I rather
exact.
like the Megatron.
Yeah, they're
I
not.
mean, if
There's no
there's
no flair to it. Like when they do a new series, they have like a design aesthetic that they try to hit. But this is kind of like, it's not quite animation. It's not toy. It's like, I don't know what in the hell it is. And
It would be. I feel like it would be animation if they had just made Optimus Prime's windows opaque.
yeah,
Like they
Megatron
were
is closer. Optimus is
Yeah.
not.
it's
I feel
almost,
like a bunch of kids are gonna buy these and then get them home and be like,
Mad
"Why
that
doesn't
they
it
don't transform.
And
I
honestly,
feel like no child is ever going to want to touch
No kid.
these and won't.
Yeah.
honestly,
Well, I don't think any collector is going to either.
yeah.
Well,
honest-
that is the question.
I don't like the looks of him. So, but like, I like the look of Earthrise Optimus in robot mode better than the Optimus here. And I definitely
Yeah.
like the version, I like the look of Netflix Megatron more than the Megatron here.
I have seen a couple of comments of people that are actually excited about this.
Yeah, I have too. I don't
But-
understand it, but I have seen
I
them.
like the.
Yeah, this is a line that I'm not going to collect, though. I don't.
Right.
I don't.
So
need
I
this.
have a theory about this. Though generally speaking, I don't think it's a shock, but these cost the same as a deluxe Transformer. They're way less engineering involved. So much less engineering involved. So the profit
So a
margin
higher profit margin.
has to be higher. This may be not the new Transformers that we have going forward, but it may be a higher percentage of it than you might like to think. So,
And
I hope
mean,
you're
okay,
wrong."
so like,
me too.
there's definitely ways that a line like this can work in the favor of collectors like us who want just the traditional kind of Transformers toys, because there's cartoon characters that never had alt modes or at least seldom transformed on screen. On Twitter, I was putting out there like DevCon would be good for this.
Yeah.
Alpha Trion would fit.
Grimlock.
Bot, we would get our first Bot toy.
Yeah, somebody threw Autobot Spike out there.
Yeah, that was a
that's
really good
what I
idea.
was just gonna say.
But those
Autobots
characters,
fight
but
out of
they're
five.
going to focus on the iconic characters to begin with. If it's like Marvel Legends, they'll eventually potentially get to obscure stuff in Star Wars, but we're not there yet.
Yeah.
And we may
This
never
line
get there
will
because I don't think this
fail.
line is going to hang on.
Yeah.
that
I
long.
agree.
Yeah.
This line will
Yeah.
fail before we get there.
Yeah. Brian, there's one thing I would like to bring up, and again, get your drinking game ready because I'm going to mention an online reviewer. Bobby Skullface has looked at the. That's what I said.
I know.
He has
I'm just
looked at.
supporting you.
I know. He has looked at the SH Figure Art Star Wars versus the Black Series.
Okay.
And he has commented on how much the Black Series has increased in quality over the years to the point where people that want a representation on the shelf, if you're looking at paying $70 to $90 for a figure art Star Wars figure versus a Black Series $20 to $25 figure, when in some cases you get definite advantages in the Black Series other than just cost difference.
Do people
that would be good enough? That would be good enough for the shelf.
I don't think I'm a normal collector when it comes to stuff like this. Do collectors make trade-off decisions as to whether or not they want the Black Series or the figure arts? I think people either want figure arts or they want Black Series.
Well, I think it depends on the character, because it's like, do you want this character because you love this character, or are you going to buy it just to have it as that spot? Like if you're doing a cantina scene, it's a character you don't care about, but you need them in the scene to complete the diorama.
I don't do that at all. Stuff goes in a box once I've opened it.
Right. But I'm just saying, I think he did hit on something there with a lot of collectors will look at between the two, depending on what they're looking for and the price. I'm saying that maybe Hasbro has looked at the Revoltech Optimus and these other licensed products, and they're trying to draw that back. Again, this is nowhere near a Revoltech. We know that.
And they didn't say that was a bad idea?
Well, no, but I'm just saying that they're looking at trying to find a way to get into this posable action figure Transformer that is popular with like the Revoltech stuff, but under more their control at a lower price point to increase sales. So I'm thinking that could be what we're looking at as well.
I have a feeling, Don, that the rationale behind this is a lot closer to we have successful 6-inch figure lines for basically every other adult collector property we do. We should have one for this too.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to over. Yeah.
Because I seriously doubt the Transformers design team had this idea.
No, I guarantee it's something separate. Maybe it's not the design team. The brand team probably had the idea, and it's being executed by other people.
Probably.
So in the chat, Rodimus Supreme is basically the age-old argument that Transformers transform, full stop, and I disagree. I love Action Masters, and there's a lot of Transformers that don't transform, but I get it. I understand why people wouldn't want these.
But I think one thing that we've not looked at, or we're forgetting, is it's not 1988 anymore. Action Masters are not this weird little thing that nobody likes.
Action Masters were toys. This is trying to be a collector's line.
Right. But what I'm saying is that the idea of having a robot better represented in the robot mode versus an alt mode, it's like that's why we have the Flame Toy stuff. That's why we have that Flame Toys Tarn.
I'm pretty sure Action Masters was another cost savings effort more than anything.
Oh, Action Masters came at the end of an already dying line.
Yeah.
Right. But what I'm saying is it's now more accepted by a lot of collectors that if it's a character they like or the alt mode is not important, they want the best representation of the character in the robot mode.
I don't disagree, Don. I think you're right.
These aren't them, but I'm just saying it's now more accepted to have a non-transforming Transformer because your character, let's say, I'm not trying to get off a tangent, it's just something I've been thinking of.
These things don't have Action Master partners, so they don't count.
Yeah.
They really should.
Yeah, they should.
Yeah.
This is the Fans Toys grinder, the one I picked up a few weeks ago.
Hoagies and grinders, hoagies and grinders, navy beans, meatball sandwich,
know what that is.
Sloppy Joe.
Anyway, let's say this doesn't transform, but it's a very good visual representation of Grimlock. There are people out there that wouldn't care that he couldn't get into Tyrannosaurus Rex mode if this was the best representation they could get of a character they loved. And I think that's just now more acceptable to have a non-transforming character because you're getting a better representation
for a subset of an already limited fandom.
This is not a better representation to me, though. I agree with Brian in the fact that, I like my Siege Optimus Prime a lot better than this.
This is also Wave 1.
I think there might be
another wave.
I think there might be another aspect to this too, which is as adult collectors, like even just within our group here, how many of you actually like get your toys off the shelf and transform them and do anything with them other than have them sitting there on display as they're in robot mode as a static collection?
Rarely.
I barely do.
Randomly, but I do.
Yeah, and everything takes up less space on a shelf in robot mode.
Yeah, so I think
Yeah.
I think a real motivation for this from Hasbro's side is realizing that's probably the case with collectors in this age bracket, and thinking, we can do this. We can give you these robot representations that are very accurate to the cartoon, which, as we all know, is the holy writ for John Warden and company,
And not have to compromise them for transformation purposes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Mhm.
like that's basically what they're offering with this, at least to part of the collector base. Here is your quote unquote idealized representation of these characters as they appeared in the cartoon, and they can stand on your shelf as robots just as well as any of the other toys we produce. They're just as posable. They have accessories. It's another way to go about that and not have to. It's a higher profit margin, and it still has the appeal to what the end result of a normal Transformers collection is going to be anyway for the majority of people.
Yeah. Another thing, though, at TFU Info, of course, messaged me this earlier, and I completely forgot. He had some speculation. So his thought was, if Studio Series moves to the Transformers the movie time period, and if Generations focuses more, hopefully, praying it does, Beast Wars, this line at least would
I
be...
need to save money.
Yes, this line at least would be the way to get those 1984, 1985 characters on the shelves to satisfy people during that period.
And to satisfy the legal department who wants to make sure the copyrights are upheld.
Yeah. It's entirely possible. I mean, I don't know that we have enough information to say that is evidence, but it's another piece to the puzzle potentially.
Yeah.
And that puzzle is still being revealed. So it's possible. It's interesting speculation.
Today they showed us Optimus Prime and Megatron. We had pictures of those. In Walmart's inventory data, several more entries were found that appear to correspond to this. So we already know that it's not going to be just the core G1 characters. The first thing on this list is Transformers Prime RC. I would
like
that's
to see that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's I want to say that's like an easy thing to adapt and kind of fits for this line. The Transformers Prime aesthetic in general would really favor a non-transforming action figure line because, there's CG models that were never designed with actual transformations in mind. At least some of the Beast Wars designs, you can kind of see how that would work, even though it's all magic through the animation regardless, especially Dinobot. But also on here in the same UPC block is Cheetor. And this is definitely separate from the supposed Netflix Cheetor that we learned about several weeks ago. So it looks like Cheetor is going to have a big merchandising push. There's Soundwave, which we heard about through the initial rumor of the Transformers Red series. The first two things we heard of were Megatron and Soundwave. And then there's, at the very bottom, Transformers Generations Red B, which I'm assuming is, Red Series Bumblebee and not a Red Bumblebee like the Masterpiece. So, I mean, we're definitely getting a degree of character variety relatively early in this process. So it's not quite as bad as, what we would typically expect from a just starting out new branch of the toy line.
Yeah.
I think this would have been a little bit better too if maybe they didn't try and squeeze it into a 6-inch figure size like everything else, like your Marvel Legends and your Star Wars.
That's exactly
Black
why they're
series.
doing it, though.
Yeah,
that's the
exactly.
whole
I know, but I'm just thinking I would like my Transformers figures to be a little bit bigger, and I'm not.
But then they'd have to cost more.
Build a figure.
Right, but
Yeah.
I'd be okay with that. Like maybe a $30 price point and increase them.
Well, there's $30 Marvel Legends sometimes that were previously Build-A-Figures.
Yeah, and I mean, think about the future here. If they keep these at a base $20 6-inch scale, then we can get larger characters at $30 or higher if we absolutely
or smaller characters at $20.
Mm-hmm.
It's just I think that because they basically this 6-inch box that they're in, they can use similar production methods, similar printing,
identical methods.
Like Chris, yeah, so you've got economies of scale, which leads back to what Chris was saying about the increased profits because they're already in this.
I'm not arguing that. I'm not arguing that at all. I understand all of that. The thing is, I'm just saying I would have liked them to been a little bit bigger. For me to like maybe say, yeah, maybe I should, purchase some of these. I would have liked them at least at the $30 price point and the $30 price point size. And then, if they have a bigger one, do a $40 price point. I would have rather been in that upper echelon pricing than shoehorning
big
these
money
into a
diecast wants to spend more money.
Well, what else is new? But, at the 6-inch level, though, things like an Alpha Trion or an Autobot Spike in that general size range would mix just fine with your Generations toys.
I'm fine with 6-inch. They fit nice on the shelf. You can fit a lot on the shelf.
They'll be fine for what they are.
Yeah.
I actually think we would probably actually kind of lose out in some ways if they were trying to make them bigger because they would probably not up the complexity of them in any way, so they would not feel like they're $30 quality just because they're bigger.
Okay.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
Yeah, I agree. Okay, so moving on, there's a lot of stuff to talk about. Studio Series 65, Blitzwing. So for those folks on video are looking at our pals at Unicron.com, the news, Twitter. So I really like the way it looks.
Something looks different. What's
the deco has changed a little bit since the initial promo renders.
Oh yeah.
Now in jet mode, it's actually to the benefit because the initial promo renders represented the plastic color layout correctly, and so there was some dark gray plastic mixed in near the cockpit and nose cone section. They've evened that out with some dark gray paint apps, so it kind of blends together a little bit better. We're kind of getting our first really good look at the jet mode here, though, and in the movie, Blitzwing was supposed to be an F4 Phantom 2, and this is definitely not. This is not anything remotely like an F4. It's the jet mode's kind of a mess, so I think either what happened here is that they either could not or were not inclined to get actual likeness rights for the F4 Phantom. Or to get the robot mode to look the way it does, they kind of had to make the jet mode be more of a sacrifice. People are saying the robot's head color has also changed between examples. I didn't study for that difference. The robot mode, I think, still looks fine either way. The jet mode, I'm very, very unimpressed with at this point. Not because it's not accurate to the movie, just because what we've ended up with doesn't look swell.
It's a box with wings.
Yeah, I mean, in that respect, we have to admit it's a lot more like G1 Blitzwing.
I don't know. I like it. I think it looks pretty good. I'm
still getting it. It's just it's not quite as appealing as it started out.
Even the Bumblebee stuff, I'm not really super into when it comes to the designs, but this one works for me. So.
It would have been nice to have a large F4 Phantom transformer. Like, I'm all about getting unusual or new to the brand alt modes, but like we were talking about before, the toy designs come well in advance of what the movie is designed to do. So it could even be that at the time they were making this toy, they hadn't decided that in the movie he was going to be that jet mode, especially since he probably wasn't even going to be Blitzwing at that point.
I just wonder if this is one of those molds where the paint layout could make a lot of difference. We've seen bad molds or unimpressive molds with a different or a better paint job that really help a lot. So I'm just wondering if maybe
more or different paint probably would have some effect on this. Like I was saying before, they added some dark gray paint up toward the front to integrate the varied plastic colors with each other a little bit better, so that doesn't stand out as much. Which, that probably took up quite a bit of what they could do with the rest of the toy. I think you would need like a really heavy deco job on this, like on par with what some of the Netflix stuff looks like it's getting, to really see the kind of benefit you're looking for. Which, maybe at some point in the future something like that would happen.
Cool.
Yeah, the head and jet mode are definitely different.
Yeah.
I'm sure there'll be third-party head replacements and stuff like that if it's that big of a palette swap.
Yeah.
Okay. So we got.
They have a third-party alt mode replacement set.
So we got news this week that War for Cybertron Siege starts on July 30th.
Yeah, so when we talked about this the last time, we didn't have a date then, and I was saying like I think it will be August when it premieres, and I was just about right. I was like a week late for where it's actually ending up, so good for me.
Did you watch the trailer?
Yeah.
So
I think so.
The voice work. Not saying the voice. I think it's directing probably more than anything. There's no life to the voice acting.
That's probably a directing problem.
There's no emotion in it, and I don't know. I wasn't excited about it. It looks nice. It looks a lot better than the stuff that we've gotten before.
Yeah, I think it sounds better than the Prime Wars cartoon.
Yeah,
I'll give it a chance.
Yeah, it's not choppy.
Yeah.
I mean, it's Brandon Easton writing it.
Brandon Easton, I believe F.J. DeSanto and George Kirstick again, who 2 out of 3 of whom worked on the Prime Wars trilogy.
Yeah, but
don't hold that against them.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
George also wrote and created Megas XLR, so he gets a pass for life.
That's what I'm saying. Don't hold the Prime Wars trilogy against them.
Yeah.
The only thing is that nothing against the voice director, whoever this is, but unless it was so far out of budget, we've seen much better voice work lately
Union
from
work.
a lot of different.
It's a non-union gig.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Because, even if I know Andrea
that changes who you have access to if you opt to not go for the union stuff.
Yeah, and Cyberverse was also non-union, and its voice work could have been better. It was not terrible, but it could have been better.
Yeah. I'll give it a shot.
I just want Andre Romano on everything. I'm sorry, I just want her on everything.
I really like though that this doesn't have the quote unquote influencers on it. It seems to be like people who are actual real voice.
It doesn't have stunt casting.
Yeah, stunt casting is exactly right. It has people who really do voice work, and that's good. So that's why I'm not knocking the voices. I'm knocking the direction, at least of what I've heard so far. Maybe it gets better.
Yeah, I mean, think about Transformers Energon. I'm sorry, but you'll have to just bear with this for a minute. If you have any familiarity with the Ocean Group's general output, those people are good voice actors. Transformers Energon was a terrible dub.
Yeah.
But it's not the actor's fault. It was, the directing, the production. And it's also the script writing, where I think they were finishing scripts as they were shooting episodes or recording dialogue for episodes. But what the voice actors are not the be-all, end-all of what the output product is.
Yeah,
a good director can get a good performance out of a lot of different kinds of voice actors.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So that's something. So July 30th. Let's see here. That's a month away. What else? So Back to the Future crossover, 35th anniversary. That was announced today on the Transformers Instagram. And that came as a shock because that's been part of the Transformers fan consciousness for 30 years or more.
Mm-hmm. I've seen people throwing some wonderful potential names around for this thing.
Yeah, I have a Transformers Back to the Future shirt crossover that came in a loot crate. There've been so many customs over the years. It just makes sense, and I really hope it's Astro Train.
Hey, stop stealing my idea.
Back to the Future 3 is the best Back to the Future. It's the best one. So hopefully it'll be. I know that's sacrilege to some people, but I really like Back to the Future 3.
Good movie.
Yeah. So.
I was reminded earlier today that Amazon at one point had put up a product page for something they were calling Project Future Deluxe, which, given this context, might indicate, Back to the Future DeLorean.
It's got to be, if it's the DeLorean to fit in with everything else, I think it's got to be a deluxe. And they're not going to do like a
Electrotron kind of thing.
Electrotron is already. Electron's a Voyager already, though, and that made sense. But they're not going to make a coupe or a sedan into a Voyager class figure.
Okay, so the thing about Ectotron, they used the engineering, some of the engineering from a Voyager figure, but they definitely designed that to try to fit in with masterpiece size toys.
Mm-hmm.
So, that's my concern. This hypothetical, theoretical, whatever DeLorean transformer would also be made to try to match the size of masterpiece Autobot cars, where then it would not fit in with, normal Deluxes and Voyagers. It would be in that awkward in-between area. That's why I'm hoping this Amazon Project Future or whatever is referencing this, and calling it a Deluxe means it will be a more standard toy.
Yeah.
I think one reason Ectotron was trying to be masterpiece scale-ish was because of Ecto 35 Optimus coming out right afterward. If there's not an analogous thing for the Back to the Future collaboration, then they might keep that in the normal generation scale.
Yeah.
Well, all I know is I was shocked like I was struck by lightning at 1.21 gigawatts.
Gigawatts.
Gigawatts. I thought it was gigawatts.
And 1.21.
No, you've never watched Back to the Future, Don.
Part of that wrong.
I would go on the other side of this, saying that I think this could be a completely new mold. It'll fit in with the scale of the Ectotron, and that Ectotron was the proof of concept used for, they used a pre-existing mold, even though they retooled it a lot, where this could be something, now that they proved it can work, this could be something completely new. We still don't know if the Top Gun jet that they're doing the crossover with, if that's a new mold or if that's remolded off of something else. Is there any Voyager cars that they could, remold into this?
Not really, but you have to think more outside the box than that.
Because Ectotron's base mold was, of course, a truck originally.
Yeah, it was a fire truck or a mobile artillery piece. And you don't want to think about Ectotron as being a retool of Hotspot. It's reusing the engineering, and it has a few similar parts, but a lot of it is brand new, and the way the parts work together is different than on Hotspot or Onslaught. So it's really more fair to say that we can expect these collaborative crossovers to utilize already developed engineering to some degree, but it's not necessarily a one-to-one thing where, okay, they made this toy out of this mold with some different parts thrown in. It's kind of the gray area we're in with the language at this point because of how the processes have changed over a relatively short amount of time.
Yeah.
With Ectotron too, they had to, a hearse is a long vehicle, so they had to use something that they could get the proper vehicle length out of, which is, I'm sure why they went with the Hotspot, mold family to begin with.
Yeah.
But yeah, the car shape is something you gotta be looking at here, and I think basic dimensions, you're probably looking at a Prowl smokescreen Blue Streak retool of some form.
I mean, I'm just looking at
I was thinking maybe Sideswipe.
I have Hoist in my hand, and I just want something a little bit bigger than a Deluxe for this crossover. I want it to do more. I want the wheels to be able to rotate, like that, so you can do the sort of spaceship mode or whatever you're going to call it, the flying car mode.
Even if it's a Deluxe mold that they start with, it could still be like Ectotron, where they add enough more to it, and the price point goes up some, where they will be able to have a greater degree of features than another toy of the deluxe scale. So it may still be a little bit smaller than what you're wanting, but it may be more featured than an average deluxe.
That would be okay. I think I just want it a little bit bigger is what I really think.
Yeah, for a lot of collectors, I think some of the stuff falling into the Masterpiece car scale is just fine. I'm personally against that because I don't really enjoy collecting Masterpiece.
Yeah.
Don, what were you going to say?
Yeah, I was going to ask y'all this. Do y'all think that maybe once we get these crossover molds, we're not going to see them reused because it could be the situation like with AVO Swerve, where the rights to the car or the rights to
I think it's licensing fees more than anything.
Okay, so you don't think it's going to be another?
It's not like they don't have the rights to it. They just don't want to pay the money to pay for the license. They still own it. They just can't use it because.
And after what happened with the toys from the 2007 movie, where the way they made those agreements with Paramount really limited their options for reusing those molds without paying fees to the studio. I imagine Hasbro has been a lot more careful since then in how they're making these agreements so that they can get reusability out of this. The Aveo Swerve was a really special case because Hasbro was trying to, sweeten their relationship with Chevrolet to begin with. Chevrolet came to them and wanted, a promotional exclusive item. So that was a very, very unique situation in how that worked out and how that Swerve never got reused or released again in any other capacity. I don't think we would see something quite like that happen again.
Right. I just didn't know that. How that, because I was seeing shades of similarity there, that maybe they're getting promotion off of this, but they don't want Hasbro or Takara to be using this mold anymore, and they want the rights to it.
John, who of course was a licensee of Hasbro, and he has been involved in contracts for licenses and such, just pointed out contracts can be written a million different ways. But it's not uncommon for the licensor to own the design. So it's possible that Hasbro couldn't use it because they don't own it. So who knows?
I would assume that if I had the license for Back to the Future, that if I was going to let Hasbro use it, there would be a specified time period in which they can make it.
Almost certainly. Yeah, almost certainly.
And that fact alone, too, may be why Ectotron reused as much as it did conceptually and engineering-wise from Hotspot and Onslaught to minimize how much Hasbro was having to put in new on something that they knew going in they would not ever get to use again and make more money back off of.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. Hey, so a couple things. We got some more news to get into. There's a lot today. So at least one thing ended up being after that Back to the Future crossover popped up. There was a Transformers Ninja Turtle crossover that ended up being a hoax, a fan.
Pretty sure, yeah,
fan manipulation. So something else that popped up today, and we haven't talked about it, and I almost put it in the show notes and I left it out. Paladin put it in our Discord that. Generation Selects IDW Centurion as a Brunt redeco. Do we have any thoughts around that?
I've examined the photo, and it does not look like it's painted. So if those are actual plastic colors, this is a for real thing.
So what is this again?
Okay, so Brunt's robot mode was heavily based on the design of a Centurion droid as seen in one of the IDW Volume 1 comics from the Stormbringer miniseries, I believe. So right from the start of seeing Brunt, a lot of us were saying, like, okay, when's the gray or silver Centurion redeco going to come out? Because, troop building. And it's taken a little while, but it looks like it might be happening if this is not a custom. And I don't think it's a custom. Because, if you think about what gray paint on plastic looks like versus just flat gray plastic, they're very, very different finishes, and this really, to my eye, looks like gray plastic.
So TF fan page 101 in our Discord shared a photo. Let me put it.
Oh yeah, that's the comic panel that everybody worked off of when Brent was revealed.
Yeah, and you can definitely see it.
If this is an upcoming Generation Selects, I'll troop build them.
Yeah,
I'll get like 3. I don't even like the Brunt mold that much, but yeah, I'll get a few of them.
Let's see here. So one thing I don't have any photos on, but our buddy Rick Alvarez had noted that there's another Earthrise Skywarp variation. This is what I'm interested in. We don't know any more details. I don't know how prevalent this is, how many there are out there in the wild, but there is one that does not include the screaming face, which makes me happy.
The dull surprise face.
The dull surprise face, because we had hoped that would be like the Starscream coronation, Ghost Starscream, or Death of Starscream potential. Like, we have this alternate universe, Optimus Prime, so why not a Starscream that's dying in horrendous pain? So if that wasn't intended to be the final mold for Skywarp, that would be great. So when you're out looking, keep checking BrickSeek. Decatur, Georgia is the closest location that I have right now.
Oh, really?
Yeah, according to BrickSeek, or according to Target.com. So
interesting.
Yeah, so I want it, but we have that. We have the package variation, and I'll buy it, even though it's stupid.
Oh no, that's Decatur, Illinois.
Decatur, Illinois. Okay, so that's about twice as far.
Yeah.
Now, Brian, one thing I wanted to add when we got to this in the show topic, I did stop by my Target today, and I talked with the young lady that runs toys. She knows me, and I've always tried to be a polite collector. I didn't want to be one of those kind of collectors, and we all know who, we've all seen that in situations.
Hot Wheels?
And, well, I'm saying every collector fandom has those kind of people that, just jerks.
I think people that work at toys probably just lump us all together, except for Hot Wheels. Except for Hot Wheels.
All of us except for Don. They don't lump Don in because Don is Don.
And that's why I try to make sure that I don't ever get to be that kind of person, because I don't want to cast the bad aspirations on the collector community. But I asked her, and she said, what usually happens is when you go to Target.com to get something, it'll bounce from store to store to store, trying to find a store that has it in stock to send it from the store. But she didn't know how many times it bounced before it says, okay, no one has it, cancel the order. And she was thinking that, because I told her what was going on the website, and I said, do you have any idea when it's actually, I'm saying, if you've dealt with the website or you've had to talk to them before on other things. And she said that she hasn't dealt with the website directly, but that's what it does is based on where you're at, it bounces around trying to fill the order, and then at a certain point it just says, oh well, you're screwed. So that could be a problem, is that some places there's nowhere within a reasonable vicinity to pull one from to ship, which is why they're either showing in stock but they don't actually exist. And that's why we're getting
stock,
people. Well, I'm saying I've seen some people that did have one in their cart, and then when they got to checkout, it was gone. And that could be the system thought it was in stock, but again, she's saying just based on what little she's seen from her viewpoint. But I just wanted to bring that up as a possible reason for the frustration is it's just some on-hand issues, and it's not searching all the stores; it's just searching a certain number of stores.
Okay.
So right now, as far as we can tell, the distribution centers for the Southeast United States, the East Coast, New England, just have not received these or been able to pass them through to the stores yet. So if you're still waiting to try to get one of these and you're in the eastern half of the country, don't worry that you've missed out on them at this point. Your store is still probably going to get them if they're going to get them at all, because occasionally individual locations will skip exclusives for, whatever reasons. But they're still coming, so don't go to the scalpers yet.
And
Yeah.
Don, I'm not going to say that, and I don't know, but I just want to add a disclaimer to what your target person said. I need to be tread carefully on this. But working retail myself for 16 years in a corporate capacity, there were a lot of experts in the stores who would tell you how things actually worked that were exactly, completely, and totally wrong.
Right.
And actually have no idea how things work, but they want you to know how they think it works. So that doesn't sound like my understanding of how Target.com works, but it's possible.
Right. I just wanted to bring that up. Is I did speak with her. She said that's what she's run into in the past. And I just wanted to pass that along to maybe try to ease some of the frustrations, if possibly. Because we're all just like,
your Target will get it. Just wait.
Yeah.
You'll be able to get this if you want it eventually. Is basically
and
the way.
Most likely, Target.com will have it available for purchase and shipping again. Right now, as of recording today, it's marked on Target.com as not available or not eligible for shipping, however they word it, as opposed to just being out of stock. But it will probably come back in on the website as well.
Yeah, cool. Yeah. Okay, so
I missed it. Was it actually in stock on the website at one point?
It was couple. There was a couple instances where it was available to put in your cart for about a minute each time. But I'm really thinking that was a case of mistakenly activating the in-stock status. I don't think anybody actually was able to buy one.
Okay.
Probably.
Yeah.
Okay. Still,
I haven't seen anybody mention they got one.
Okay. Well, I mean, that was a couple days ago. They probably wouldn't have gotten it yet. And honestly, the person who got it may not be on the internet or part of the fandom. There's a whole...
Yeah, I was going to say, if they got off the website, they would have had been on the internet.
They're on the internet, but there's a lot of people out there who just don't interact. I
kind of envy them.
Yeah.
Yep, they're the smart ones.
So anyway, moving on in the news.
So
please.
2 more items to get through. So Transformers Cross Quicks. So it's a Soundwave vinyl bust that is available for pre-order. A lot of people dig this thing.
I kind of like it. I don't want to own it, but I kind of like it.
It's not. Yeah, it looks pretty nice. Actually, it's just not my thing.
I don't want it.
Me neither. I don't want it. But it does.
Oh,
it
I
has
just saw the
character.
price. I don't want it. I don't want
I
it.
have 3
How much is it?
$250, isn't it?
Yeah, $249.
that's a-
$2.50. That's overpriced.
Okay.
It includes free shipping.
Yeah, not my
I
thing.
should hope so.
But people who like this like it. So there you go.
I mean, in the realm
doesn't
of
look bad.
statue-like things, this is one of the good ones.
Yeah, I agree.
But I'm never going to be that kind of collector.
Nope.
Same.
So also up for... Do we have a better link for this? I thought I did. 1 second. So the Fans Hobbies Machine Eagle test shot is out, and people are sharing it. Man, I thought I had a better link than this. I was showing a better version of this in the show notes. Thing's gorgeous. It is Machine Wars Optimus Prime, of course, based off of the Lightning Eagle, which was the Thunder Clash. And while I don't know, I would just say that it's really nice looking. And it hits the right spot because I have a real soft spot in my heart for Machine Wars. But I don't guess I'm gonna get it. I mean, I would be much more convinced to get this than the Thunder Eagle, or whatever the heck it's called, the Power Master Prime, because we'll probably eventually get a real Power Master Prime masterpiece. It may take 10 years, but we'll probably get one. We'll never get Machine Wars.
And it'll cost $850.
Oh
when we
yeah,
get it.
it'll be $10,000 by that point.
And that'll be just a cab. The trailer will be a separate release.
Yeah, if you're watching the video, earlier in pre-show I shared photos of this. I think it was on Big Bad maybe, in robot mode, but thing's gorgeous, and I really do dig it. And it comes with both faces. So where Machine Wars Optimus Prime did not have the face plate, of course, because it was based on Thunder Clash, this offers both the face plate and the correct face plateless option. So, yeah.
Do you think Hasbro would make us an official Thunderclash toy if they realized you could repaint it as Optimus Prime?
That's a good question, actually.
That is. That's a very good question.
That's a fascinating question. You know,
my fear with a Generations Thunderclash or equivalent is just that, like, they think they've got the gold plastic problem licked, but
paint.
We're never going to know that for sure. That'd be a lot of paint on potentially moving parts, which is a problem, theoretically.
Yeah.
Also, if some of the gold would have to fall on unpaintable plastic sprues, it wouldn't even be able to be gold looking. It would be that lovely earwax color that we were talking about, I think, last week.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, the butterscotch.
So I just pulled down my Thunderclash.
I'm willing to make some sacrifices to actually get a Thunderclash.
I just put down my Thunderclash box, and I think you could get by with paint on most of this. I don't.
Or if they just like abandoned the gold plastic entirely and went with the butterscotch color uniformly across the toy and not mix and match it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I love Thunderclash.
Just with the team, with the Transformers team as it is right now, I really fear they would try to put gold plastic in as much as possible.
You're
and
right.
I don't trust their current formulation of gold plastic because it's not old enough yet to actually know if it's going to survive.
Yeah.
I will probably never trust gold plastic, and there's
never trusted gold plastic and never will.
Never trust again.
So, yeah, I don't know, but it's a fascinating question. Obviously, the people who are there are experts. They know who Thunderclash is. They know Machine Wars Optimus Prime. It's probably on their list. So whatever generations 2028, 2029, I wouldn't be surprised. I really wouldn't. God, I want this. I need. No, don't. I did buy something during the show. I didn't mention it.
Oh,
you can take a drink if you want to. Yeah. I bought myself a second Ectotron so I could have one mint-sold box.
Well, you know, that's something with the display, the way it looks, the way the everything. That's worth having one, you know, to have in a box.
Yeah.
It's nice in package. Like I like the
Now go buy yourself an extra. Now go buy yourself an extra Ecto 35 Optimus Prime to keep in the box next to it.
It's in the box. I never took it out.
Well, then buy one to take out.
No.
Yeah. It's just, mine's still in the box. I'm still debating, even after all these months of getting it. It's like, I want to take it out, but it looks so good in the box.
It does.
That was a really nice packaging job. I have to admit.
It was. I mean, it really.
Thank you, Hasbro, for giving me that. For nothing.
And like for practical purposes too, because you can wear that thing as a backpack, as I recall. So for people who were at SDCC, having to lug those around after they bought them, being able to put that on as a backpack had to be kind of useful.
Yeah. Well, I tell you what, Brian, I will buy you the Optimus Prime, and I will trade you for the Ecto Optimus Prime that you haven't opened.
No.
Oh.
What kind of deal is that?
I'm just trying to help.
It's a
out of the goodness of my heart.
Okay, since I'm doing Dononomics, I'll tell you what I'm looking to sell on eBay. I saw them going from anywhere from $150 to $400. It's this.
Wow.
I don't know if you ever saw this in any photos of my office or here when you guys visited, but my grid case computer, the heavy duty computer that could probably take a bullet and still work. It's like.
I don't think I would have noticed it if I, I don't know what
it's a 380.
So I saw it.
It's a 386, but it's a portable 386. It's got a handle and a amber monochrome monitor.
Oh wow!
But like I just obviously I bought moving boxes. We really need to move, so I'm just trying to get rid of crap and I'm trying to consolidate down my big collection into a smaller, more valuable collection that. If I ever croak...
More mobile collection.
More mobile collection or more valuable collection so that when I croak, Kim would have an easier time getting rid of it. But if I sell that and I get $400 for it, I'll buy the Lightning Eagle and the Machine Eagle. But I'll have to Dononomics it.
Okay. I just offered. Off the top of my head, that's okay. No problem.
Cool. Okay.
I'm just that generous of a guy.
Thank you, Don.
You know who else is really generous?
Who? Amazon.
Our patrons.
And patrons. Amazon is not so generous. Patrons are. tfradio.net/Amazon, though, if you need to buy anything. But our patrons, our touched patrons, we love you. You can get a full list of our people at the touched level. God, you guys are great. I think more than half of our patrons are touched, which is saying a lot. And I think we've retained every single one. I don't think we've lost a touched patron. So
nice. Thank you for your commitment.
Yeah, you guys are committed. That's why I said we need to make more exclusive content for you guys. Yeah. Kevin Dorsey, Sean Bratton, Jacob Owen Lucia, Sean Hamilton, Jason W. Rye, Mike Mallory, Jason Hiley, Jonathan James, Matthew Dedman, Hector Bones, Brian Cooper, Nathan Sampy, Spider Bob, Rabbits, Emmett Sresovich, Gaming Fix, Patrick Davidson, and Joey Russell. Thank you guys so much. You were awesome. tfradio.net/credits. You can see them there if you want to become a touched patron. Patreon.com/tfradio. We post a lot of content for our patrons. I think we do a good job of keeping up stuff, especially with all the Toy Detective stuff. And the Toy Detectives are funded by patrons exclusively. So, patreon.com/tfradio. We do a lot of content, but I want to do more exclusive content just to give back.
Also, just as an excuse to do some of the weird ideas we always have.
It's mostly weird ideas, too.
Oh, I think every idea we have is a weird idea.
Yeah. I'm excited about the next couple weeks of stuff to go over that I have on the way. Next week should be interesting, just from a weird perspective. It's not going to be it's not going to blow anybody away, but one item on the way, I had no idea it existed. I literally learned about it this past week. Yeah, so, and I never had a clue it existed, and then two of them popped up from the same person. So, it'll be a fun story. Okay, let's see here. You can find us, again, patreon.com/tfradio. All our content from a Transformers perspective is there, and I don't think we do anything non-Transformers anymore. We don't have any non-Transformers podcasts, do we, that are active?
No, I don't think so.
Nope, so everything we do is there.
Maybe one day when I actually have energy again, I can get some Star Trek episodes recorded or something.
Yes.
That'd be great.
Of course, we have our archive of everything at tfradio.net/ archive, actually, I think. But you can just go to tfradio.net and search for it. One thing
There's 100 episodes of Star Trek podcast there, actually a little bit more.
Oh, yeah. One thing I thought about doing for our touched patrons, I was going back to the stuff that we have in our archive that we could go back and finish. I don't think... What was the last movie that we did a commentary on? I think that'd be
Revenge of the Fallen, because I think it broke us.
We have a lot of movies we could go back and do. I think that would be good Patreon content. Yeah, we'll see. Oh, I know one thing I'm going to do. Sorry. My goal was to, as I go back and re-edit all these unposted episodes of What's Happened at the Headmasters and then schedule out recordings, I wanted to make that Patreon exclusive until it was done and then dump it out.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so I think that's a thought. Okay. Twitter, TF Radio, Facebook.com/TF Radio, Instagram, TF Podcast, YouTube. We're on Roku, Fire TV. We have our own Roku and Fire TV channels. You know, I don't marvel at that enough, but I worked my butt off and spent so many hours figuring out how to make that stuff work that, but yeah. We have a big audience there. I just never talk about you guys, but thank you guys so much for being with us there. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, TuneIn, iHeartRadio, Stitcher. We're basically everywhere. If you want to find the show notes for this episode, you can go to tfradio.net/680. We have an episode of It's a Don Deal coming up here in a couple of weeks where I think we're going to record. So if you want to leave Don a text or a voicemail, 931-99-GO-BOT. That's 931-994-6268.
Yeah, I thought you would give out my phone number. I thought, what?
Yep. Don, I don't know your phone number off the top. I don't know anybody's number off the top of my head, so I have to look it up in the phone. Let's see here. Rob Springer, not here, but he is at zonebase.org and at Rubo Rob Springer. John, I think, is parenting. I don't know if he's back. I'm going to give him a second to see if hey, there he is. John, how do you get a hold of you?
Hey, that John D everywhere.
Excellent.
Parenting's fun.
Parenting is fun. Yep, I'm close. So I'll just say, I don't talk about my kids as much, but here in the next month, the two oldest, the adoption should be final.
Oh, congratulations.
And I can start showing pictures of them, and they'll have the last name Kilby. And the 8-year-old, we've been watching a lot of She-Ra together. So they currently have two horrible middle names that are whatever. We're going to let them change their middle names if they want to. Kim joked that she should change her middle name to Adora. She loved the idea, so I am pushing for it.
She loves the idea now, but how's she going to feel about that in 10 years?
It's better than what she has now.
It's better than Sephiroth,
I'm sure it
which
is.
is an actual
I'm sure it is.
trendy name in kindergarten, believe it or not.
Really?
In
Sephiroth?
10 years, though, you'll
Sephiroth.
never be able to convince her that it was her idea.
Yeah.
That's true. You should probably get that on video now while you can.
I should.
Have her sign the document.
I have to admit, I mean, it'd be a unique name. I don't see there being a lot of Adoras being
so
named
Dusty from the RPGLL podcast. He had told his wife that he wanted to name his daughter Adora, and she loved the name until she found out where it came from. But Dusty also has the thing is, amongst her friends, Dusty is also famous for having a strange, huge, and Dusty's listening to this. Dusty, I love you. You have this, a strange, crazy, strange crush on Adora, on She-Ra. I think up until he was married, that if he could marry She-Ra, he would have. So,
well, I mean, it's a very good friend of mine, a brother of someone in our chat. His firstborn son is named Raiden, and they both agreed to name him that from Mortal Kombat.
Oh,
because they both love the name so much.
Yeah. I thought it was named after the Transformer, and I was going to have a little talk with him, but
No. They both love Mortal Kombat so much, and that was his name, and he just loves his name. So it's what
we're going to do. I didn't say this for the baby though. She's currently 11 months, and when her adoption goes through, we wanted to rename the 3-year-old because her name is horrible. Not horrible. It fits her now, but it's just completely made up. But she's going to keep her name. But hopefully, if the baby doesn't have a connection to her name, we can name her Go Shooter. Or not.
Sure.
She's going to keep her name. Okay.
Cab might be a little bit better. I don't know.
Yeah. Okay. I am on Twitter at bkilby, Instagram at Brian Kilby, and at briankilby.com. I've not updated my podcast in a while. I haven't had time. And not really a lot of inspiration either, even though I bought a brand new guitar to play. I need to do a concert or something.
You have to admit, Brian, it hasn't really been a happy day lately.
No, it hasn't. It has not.
But maybe you need to dig deep within yourself and find the happiness to bring to people's day.
This is
maybe
true.
You should be the happy day that you want to share.
Yeah, cool. Don, how do people get a hold of you?
I can be reached on Twitter at HMRC, the number 4 EVR.
Rob.
On Twitter, either Figure Viewers or Rob Flails. On YouTube, Flailthroughs. Also, Patreon, patreon.com/Flailthroughs. And, of course, I do still have the Amazon wish list at tfradio.net/Claylist. And thank you again to everyone who got me something off of that for my birthday. I really appreciate it.
Cool. Chris.
So my toy photography related works can be found collected at playwithphotography.com. That includes galleries, articles I've written, guides sometimes. For more random, irregular content, I'm on social media, Instagram.com/playwithphotography or at playwithphotos on Twitter. I do a lot of, I post a lot of test shots there that I take when I'm trying to sort out new setups or equipment. And sometimes just if I have a weird idea or something, I'll write to something that doesn't fit as a gallery or something unto itself. I'll just kind of throw it out there and let it sit. If you like the toy photography work I do, and you want to support that, show some support or help me do more of it, I'm on Patreon at patreon.com/playwithphotos. Personally, I'm on Twitter at ChrisRTXV. I can't think of anything really notable I've done recently that would be worth following, but different strokes. I too have an Amazon wish list at tfradio.net/ChrisList. It's not my birthday for months yet, but I always like getting things.
Cool. Am I missing anybody? Diecast, you go.
You can follow me on Diecast on Twitter at Diecast too. And I also have a wish list at tfradio.net/diecast list.
That's Massey. And Massey is rubbing up against his microphone loudly.
Sorry.
It sounds horrible.
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
Thanks for
Sorry.
Massey. Thanks for bombing Diecast plug.
It's all right. We're good. Massey and I get along. We speak the same language. Kill Dom.
Kill. Anything else, Diecast?
No, that's it.
Okay, cool. Okay, we'll see you next week. Have a good one.
Take care, everybody. Yes, open up your window in a minute.
Okay. Stop recording
Did you
there.
like lean into the path of a running fan, Don?
Sounds like it.
Huh? Do what?
Did you like lean into the path of a fan that's running?
Yeah, I
Okay,
did.
that's- Yeah,
Sorry,
no, you're
but
not in it. You're not in it now, so it's fine. Just like when you were leaned over talking to the cat, there was let's say a rustling sound. So I wanted to.
It
Yeah,
was.
That's
it
it's
was-
fine. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Did my background noise get better after I adjusted things, I hope?
I never noticed it again.
Yeah, I didn't.
Okay,
know
so
that.
evidently-
Thing.
Evidently,
Good.
of course, since you bring it up now, when Brian goes back to listen to this doing the editing,
Yeah.
it'll probably be like all he can hear.
No, I'll be honest.
Probably.
Editing, since we took some precautionary measures, is
Okay.
so much easier than it was before.
Good.
It's so much easier. Oh my god. I basically have what's the right word? It's not a stack. It's but basically I have I layer on different effects to do some cleaning, and that's usually it. And then I go in and check a couple things where I make notes along the way, but it's not like where I have to go in and babysit each and every minute, which is where it was at one point.
Yeah, I like when me and Rob record Toy Detectives. I need to start like trying to
Sounded
make some
good.
notes during. So the 33 for our patrons who are going to get this weekend. It's going to be like a 33-minute episode this time. That started out as closer to an hour, so it was a fair bit of extraneous trimming to kind of keep it more focused too.
Cool.
I think the worst thing we lost out of that would have been entertaining to hear was just us complaining about Eric not being old yet, but he'll get there. But yeah, it would probably speed up my process if I tried to make some kind of notes just so I'd have more of an idea of like, okay, there's actual stuff here I want to keep in this stretch or something to that effect. But yeah, I mean, like doing the news desk, I have like a checklist basically of the processes to apply to the audio to make it sound not terrible. So like that's pretty much all I have to do to that too, unless I have to do like 6 or 7 takes on it, because some days I just can't read and talk at the same time.
I know the feeling.
Yeah.
I had to, because I just seem to trail off when I'm speaking, I had to disconnect the noise gate to do the news desk and just cut off the air conditioning and speak loudly. So if it sounds kind of like I'm shouting into the microphone, it's because I kind of am.
Hey, people watching live, I think we went long, so I think we're going to do a short post show. So what we'll do is we'll just catch you next week. There's going to be a lot of stuff this weekend.
Your post show this week is just the behind the scenes of Toy Detectives, apparently.
Yeah. There you go. That's all you need, though.